Apple has done an oopsie. Quite the oopsie doopsie poopsie.
Want daily tech news in a way that doesn't suck? Of course you do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Front Page Tech. Of course, show that gives you all the latest tech news from a geek that is me to another that is you. Happy Tuesday. If you missed yesterday's show, we did post the show yesterday. It's officially our lowest viewed episode of the entire year. It was demonetized, suppressed. The YouTube robot said no to this one. Don't know why, but if you did miss the episode and you do want to watch it, we'll link it down in the description below. Let's do today's episode, though. Today's news. It's interesting. All right, so first up for today's story, numero uno, Apple is in some trouble. They are in quite the pickle. And by in a pickle, I mean, how do I put this so it's advertiser friendly? Apple seems to like pickles more than the things that you put pickles in. Know what I mean? Apple likes boys more than girls. There, I said it. Allegedly. Please don't sue me. Okay, so here's what's going on. This has to do with the Apple Card. There's a few things happening right now. So this started out with a tweet that went viral from software developer David Heinemeier. Heine Hansen. He went onto Twitter. He tweeted this, saying that the credit line for the Apple Card that was offered to him was 20 times higher than that of his wife, even though his wife has a better credit score than he does. So his credit score is actually worse, and they filed joint tax returns. And even still, the credit limit for his Apple Card was 20 times higher than that of his wife's. And I know you're like, okay, so what? One tweet, one guy, one wife, what's the problem? Well, the Woz actually came out saying the same thing. Steve fucking Wozniak, like Steve, one of Apple's co-founders, Wozniak, said the same thing, tweeting, the same thing happened to us. I got 10 times the credit limit. We have no separate bank or credit card accounts or any separate assets. So in response to all this, the New York State Department of Financial Services has actually launched an investigation into the card. I mean, I know Tim Cook likes boys, but come on, man. Now, you know we joke a lot in this show, so all joking aside, what's actually happening here is this is a probe into... That's a bad word for this, probe. This is an investigation into the bank, Goldman Sachs, who, if you didn't know, even though Apple's like, this is not a bank, a credit card from not a bank.
This is Apple Card, a credit card created by Apple, not a bank.
Just from Apple. Sorry, I don't know what that noise was. It's still totally from a bank, Goldman Sachs. And apparently, Goldman Sachs must have a preference for Sachs, like actual Sachs. You know what I mean. So they're claiming that this is an algorithm's doing, not because they're biased. If you didn't know, like if it's not obvious, it's illegal. It's illegal when it comes to this stuff to discriminate between men and women. But that seems to be exactly what's happening here. Goldman Sachs gave a statement saying, in all cases, we have not and will not make decisions based on factors like gender. So even though this is technically like an algorithm that's deciding who is approved and what credit limit they get, the algorithm, according to Goldman Sachs, does not discriminate between men and women. Anyway, listen, I'm sure this is just a coincidence. I'm sure it's not really a thing. I'm sure they're not intentionally discriminating between men and women. I'm sure that's not actually happening. Was that convincing? All right, so we got another controversial story coming up, so I'm just going to squeeze a normal one in between the two. Next up, more Apple stuff, but a happier Apple thing. Apparently, there's already been private press briefings for the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Now, if you're not sure what that is, I actually tweeted something similar like a couple weeks ago. This is another reason why, if you're not following me on Twitter yet, you're fucking goofy. I tweeted about a similar thing, like a private Apple meeting in an Apple location happening regarding AirPods Pro. And then literally like an hour after this tweet, maybe 2 hours, they literally announced it, like officially announced AirPods Pro. So back to the 16-inch MacBook Pro. We've been hearing about it. We've been hearing rumors. And it seems like, well, because of this press briefing, these private press briefings, we may see something this week about it. Now, my source for all the Apple stuff is within America. I haven't heard anything about this. I haven't heard anything about this yet, but it probably did happen. Probably did happen. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a 16-inch MacBook Pro this week. Okay, boys. I got some bad news. Turns out, Google knows about your butthole disease. It seems that Google is secretly gathering personal health records from millions of patients within the US. It's a project called Project Nightingale. The people that the data is being collected from have no idea that this has been happening. Doctors have had no idea that this is happening. So Google has been collecting patient data for millions of patients, and over 100 Google employees have access to said data. This is why I fucking laugh anytime Google says the word privacy on stage. Okay, let's break this down. Effectively, what happened here was Google partnered with the second largest health company, Ascension. It's a care system that's based in St. Louis, and it operates in 21 states. And as part of this whole Project Nightingale thing, Ascension has been uploading patient data to Google's cloud servers. I guess the goal here was that by using that system, Ascension could effectively pull up patient data from one location. So a bunch of patient data from one location. This includes a lot of information about individual patients, like medical issues, testing, test results, medication, notes that have been made about the patient, including all the scanned documents. Like it's all there. But the real issue here is that they haven't, just been uploading to Google servers. This is a partnership with Google, and Google employees have access to this shit. And it's not breaking the law. Somehow, none of this is breaking the law. It's legal. They are allowed to know about your butthole disease. Now, what might Google be able to do with information like this? Well, not to get all conspiracy theory on ya, but let's just do it for a second. What if the benefit here for Google in terms of being able to access this sort of information, what if the benefit is for Google to assess all of this data to be able to monetize patients? Monetize patients based off of info that they know about the patients, known medical issues, known testing, known test results, all of that shit. I mean, I'm just saying, but would you be surprised if Google came out with their own health insurance? Would you? I mean, if you remember back in June, Google was accused of a similar thing, like access that they had inappropriately to medical records. They were being sued in a class action lawsuit. There was apparently some deal made in 2017 between Google and the University of Chicago the University of Chicago Medical Center, where Google was given access to patient records between 2019 and 2016, which Google said they wanted to use to be able to develop their own AI tools. So whether it's health insurance made by Google or just Google's efforts overall getting into the healthcare space, selling products to make a better lifestyle for people, what better way to sell health tools to people if you know exactly what's wrong with the people? I am just saying. That's it and that's all. And that is the show. Hopefully you liked it. Let us know if you did. Hit that like button. If you hate my stupid face, the dislike button, that works too. If you're new here, subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.